Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I release a Legacy video every Friday. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by joining the Patreon. Here, you can gain access to perks such as a continuously updated sideboard guide for Legacy Doomsday, as well as being able to send private messages. You can do so by clicking the link in the video description or going to patreon.com/NevilleShootMTG. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoy the video. Hello everyone, Martin here back with another Legacy video, and today I'm playing BOLAS'S CITADEL Doomsday. So this is a version of a deck I played like a couple of months ago, and I just saw that username FUZ65, who I do believe is actually Luca Fasoli himself. So this will be the second week in a row that we do a Luca Doomsday show here. But he trophied with a list very similar to this very recently, well, at the time of recording. And I just had a blast playing this list last time. I chickened out and put Force of Will in the main deck, which I don't think you're probably supposed to do because Force of Will plays pretty poorly with BOLAS'S Citadel. And let's just go through this card here. So the plan is to ritual this out and then either just hope to win on the spot. But if you have this in play once Doomsday resolves, basically you can win by paying 2 life. After that, by putting all zeros, like 4 Lotus Petal and then Thassa, on top of your deck, and then you just churn through it there. We have Tendrils of Agony as an alternative win condition. And like if you have the life total to play around with, you can just put like two discard spells, for instance, like 2 Duresses. So if your opponent is sitting on like Force of Will, blue card, and Consign to Memory, at the cost of 2 life, you're basically just discarding those relevant cards there, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, once BOLAS'S Citadel is in play, a lot of fun things can happen. I've added a Nihil Spellbomb just to have main deck outs to like endurance, but also to combat the reanimator meta. In the sideboard, we have Force of Will to combat other combo decks, and like the Karn Forge decks with Consign to Memory. Not that much else going on really. This list, I believe, is a hoot. So let's go check it out. All right, we are on the play for round number 1, and I think this hand is a keeper. I think I probably want to duress them here on turn 1. It's either that or preordain, but I think I kind of like duress. All right, opponent kept 7 as well. Let's cast a duress here. Ooh, it is Karn Forge. So what are we most concerned with here? Like Disruptor Flute is obviously a thing that is potentially a problem. Kozilek's Command also interacts with Doomsday. Gosh, I don't know. It's between the flute and the command and the ring. And I think I have to leave them with the ring. That's a later problem. I think I take the Kozilek's Command, to be honest. Leave them with the flute. They might be able to piece together that Underground C plus Duress means Doomsday. Okay, here come the things. There's a Thoughtseize, so we can sort of force the issue on the Duress, on the flute, I mean. Oh, that's a lot of discard. Let's put back Thassa's Oracle and Cavern of Souls, I guess. And I think I want to preordain here rather than discard them. Really looking for a Doomsday or a BOLAS'S Citadel. I find a Ponder, okay. I'm guessing they're gonna flute here, but I don't know. I have not shown them Doomsday specific things here, like Street Wraith or Thassa's Oracle or Cavern or whatever. So, and Duress is not the most commonly played discard spell, so they could still, like, they could put us on something like Ant or Beseech the Mirror, but I think if, like, the more likely outcome is that they predict that we are a Doomsday deck. All right, they didn't flash in the flute. So let's see how nuts they go here. Do they just play the ring into like a daze here? Yeah, it looks like they do. So they have a ring. And they draw a card. Okay, we draw another land, which is probably fine here. I don't really want to show them the Street Wraith. I think I'm going to lead with the Ponder. I guess I can just, like... Okay, well, here's Doomsday. Unfortunately, we can't cast Doomsday and win on this turn. We can cast Doomsday, and then they have Disruptor Flute. And because we don't have Jace in the main deck, we have to... Well, I mean, I guess getting to Thassa isn't that big of a deal. It just costs 3 more. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the Doomsday and put it on the stack. Let's resolve Doomsday. And let's put LED in here. And then some cyclers. So with the LED, basically we have 1 mana to spare. So we can try and, like, if they end up, they have the Manifold Key, so they can draw a lot of cards next turn. But we can try and snag like a potential Kozilek's Command or something. And still beat the flute, basically. Maybe hide the tendrils, I don't know. I suppose we could also try and do something crazy with BOLAS'S Citadel and Doomsday here, but I don't think that's going to be worth it. Alright, so let's see here. We draw for turn, we draw the LED. And then we duress them. And then we can, after that happens, we can cycle Street Wraith into Edge and cycle Edge into Thassa. Yeah. And we might also just, like, untap and lose. They might be able to, like, combo off, but we'll see. So let's put Tendrils and Consider on as the bottom 2 cards, I guess. Yeah. Alright, we pass the turn. They take a damage, and they draw 2 with Ring. I have 1,000,000 mana now. There's Manifold Key, yep. Key untaps Ring. I think I'm just gonna yield here. Looks like they're passing. Interesting, okay. Well, if they have double Kozilek's Command, I don't think I can beat that. But let's start with this Duress here. And they probably Disruptor Flute in response. Yeah, they have to. It doesn't matter what they name here. If they name LED, we can just put Thassa into play anyways. I do expect them to name Thassa's Oracle, though. I still haven't had anyone name Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, in this position before. That would be funny for them to do this now, when it's not in my deck. I guess if they have 2 Disruptor Flutes, then they also get to win. I do find it quite interesting that this Karnforge deck has resurfaced as much as it has in popularity. I mean, I'm recording this at the end of July. You'll be watching it later, but I've been playing against this deck so often. Alright, so Disruptor Flute named Thassa's Oracle. Looks like they have a second one. Gross. Let's hope they name Jace. If they just name Thassa or LED, we're toast. Okay, they named Jace. Sweet. I mean, I really don't blame them for naming that, but that was lucky for us. Alright, cool. So we take game 1, and I wonder if I'm supposed to become a Force of Will deck here. I think I probably am. Let's see, the Consigned Memories are good. Brazen Borrower is not great, but okay. So I have these 8 blue cards. That would take my total to 20 blue cards, which is acceptable, but that also means I have to cut 8 cards, which I think will involve cutting the BOLAS'S Citadel. I might bring that back in on the play for game number 3 if there is a game number 3. So we can get rid of the Nihil Spellbomb, the 3 Citadels. What else? I don't know, like maybe a couple of Cabal Rituals and a Duress can come out. And let's resubmit. Yeah, this is a keepable hand, even if we don't have blue card for Force of Will. We do get to Surveil and cycle Street Wraith. And our draw step. Ancient Tomb. It's probably means Disruptor Flute. Okay, Consign to Memory can stay on top. I'll pass. And then I'll force Disruptor Flute. If I don't force the Disruptor Flute, I can still cast Doomsday, but it will take me 6 mana. And right now Is this crazy? Because I mean, I think I'm actually giving them this. Yeah, this is crazy. This is ill-advised, but if I can get to Threshold... Oh, Dark Ritual. Wowzers. I think that was... I mean, maybe they have another one, but that's really surprising to me. Kozilek's Command, yeah. They scry 0 and draw a card. I think I'm just gonna send here. They were taking a long time looking at my sideboard, at my Exalt Zone. By the way, I should have boarded out the Tendrils. Yeah, I need to get to grips with this this thing here. Well, now I feel I have like just the keys to the castle here. We can force, we can duress, and what else? So we can like draw Flooded Strand, and then duress them next turn. We could also just put, actually hang on. We could just put Jace into play next turn and win instead. So maybe we don't bring in Island and Fetch Land, but we bring in Lotus Petal. And consider, I don't think Pact of Negation should be in here either. So hang on, how does this work? I draw the Petal. I cycle Street Wraith into Jace. Yeah. Yeah, this seems like what I want to be doing with my life here. Edge on the bottom, and then Thassa, consider Jason Petal. Maybe Thassa should be on top of consider if somehow they cut me off of being able to put Jason to play. And they're passing. Okay, I'm gonna duress them here. And if they have second flute here, they do have flute. They choose not to play it. And I think that means I just win. We take the flute. Cycle Street Wraith. Oh, hang on. What I'm saying. I needed to not duress there. Okay, well, things are put off for one turn here. That's fine. So we pass. There's Urza's Tower. That was the draw for the turn. They're keeping up multiple Kozilek's commands. I guess not even, because it's a expensive card to be casting. And ultimately it doesn't interact with Jace, so... And draw a card. Sweet! Off to a winning start! Alrighty, on the play for round number 2. Yeah, I like this. This is turn 2 BOLAS'S Citadel. We just really love to not get thought seized here. And I guess, like, my best... This Ponder, optimally, it shows me discard spell plus mana ramp. So, like a ritual. Okay, 3 lands, not exactly what I wanted. Ooh, Doomsday. Okay. I could jam here, but I'm actually going to wait a turn here. If they're on fast combo, then we would lose anyway, because we're passing. Tamiyo, right. Something that discards. Oof. This is close. So if I go Dark Ritual Doomsday, then next turn I will have 3 lands. I won't have enough mana to go BOLAS'S Citadel. I mean, they could also just not have a Force of Will. I think I will jam the Doomsday here. And then if they have Force, we'll have to deal with it. They didn't have Force. Okay, sweet. So I'm not going to play like there is something to beat here. They could be on some Tundra Tamiyo deck that plays Dress Down, but I'm not going to play... the Tundra kind of gives me like slight Dreadnought concerns, but not enough that I want to try and beat it. I do kind of want to put BOLAS'S CITADEL on the stack, but that's probably ill-advised. Yeah, so this way, let's see. So we draw a cycler, we play Flooded Strand, and then we draw the other cycler and finish the pile. So this is passing twice, but I think it's okay. And yeah, like I said, this loses to whatever, everything that isn't like a regular Magic card that you could expect. So like main deck, Consigned Memory, Dress Down, I don't know, Doorkeeper, Thrall, but I think it's reasonable to not play around those things in game number 1. All right, here we go. Flooded Strand, go. Or rather, attack with Tamiyo. And flip the Tamiyo, sure. It's very nice to be able to pretty much just ignore this. Let's hope that I'm right in my assessment and that they aren't able to, do something that interacts with Thassa. Tropical Island. Am I supposed to, I wonder, play around Endurance here? They shuffle their library. I'm gonna just pass. Alright, they flash back the Brainstorm. If that hadn't been a tropical island, I don't know. I wouldn't have Endurance on my radar, and it might just, I don't think blue decks like this can really support Endurance very well. What can they play that is green? Like Uro, in the main deck? So we could just try and win now. What happens if we wait a turn? Waiting a turn doesn't really get us to a point where we can play around Endurance. We would have to wait 2 more turns. And at that point, we would be putting Flooded Strand into the graveyard. And then Endurance doesn't matter. So what's more likely, that they have Endurance or that they have Dress Down? I think it's that they have Dress Down, and giving them more looks at that seems wrong. So I am going to play into the potential Endurance here. Cycling the Edge of Autumn. Oops. Cycling the Edge of Autumn. Let's put Cavern of Souls into play. Name Merfolk. And I am going to fetch here in case they have double plow. I don't want to give them the chance to actually make removing my Thassa meaningful here, and just to like showboat. Alright, let's see. And they concede. Okay. Sweet. Alright, I think Defense Grid can come in here. Maybe Flusterstorm. Other than that, I don't feel like there's a lot to sideboard here. They might play stuff like Lavinia, which would be a pretty big problem. And what does that then mean for us? I don't think we can really, I have one answer to a result permanent in this Brazen Borrower. I don't think that is going to do a lot. I'm also not, am I boarding in Jace here? Don't think so. They probably play Uro, but I still think it's potentially okay to bring out the Spell Bomb. I don't know. Actually, let's maybe keep the Spell Bomb in. That also beats the Endurance. We can take out a Street Wraith, and I'm still not sure what this Pact of Negation is really doing for us. Like, putting Pact of Negation as the bottom card, if you have BOLAS'S CITADEL out and Resolve Doomsday, is pretty sweet. I think the Profane Tutor can go and a Cabal Ritual. And then, yeah, let's get rid of the Pact of Negation. Oof, I don't know that I can keep this. Yeah, I'm gonna mulligan. I'll keep this. Get rid of Lion's Eye Diamond. Cabal Ritual is good. I'm not gonna fire off this Thoughtseize into a Spell Pierce or even worse, Veil of Summer. Would like to find more lands here. Lands and or rituals. Let's get Undercity Sewers. Thoughtseize. I think I have to put that in the graveyard. And that's not so good. I guess I Thoughtseize then. Okay, Flusterstorm. I'll accept that trade. Whenever blue decks and I'm not saying this completely fits into this description, but whenever they like aggressively defend their hand versus discard, it feels like they have consigned to memory and they're just like completely tunnel visioned on that card holding down the fort. So like whenever someone force of wills a Thoughtseize, I feel like that's what's going on. This kind of gave me those vibes, but whatever. I mean, it's also just even if Flusterstorm was the only interaction they had, if I were them, I would fluster a Thoughtseize to protect the information. So okay, they put away Prismatic Ending. I see. Well, please just don't have Wasteland here. How about that? What's this? Uro. Okay. Of all the things it could have been, that is certainly one of them. So what happens if I get a fetch land here? That's 4 cards in the graveyard. 5 and 6 with the Lotus Petals, and then I can cycle. It's not impossible that I could get to try and resolve like Cabal Ritual here. That's not it though, but let's see. So 2 petals, that's 6, that's 5 cards in the graveyard. Cycle the Edge of Autumn, sacking the island is 7. And then how much mana do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 3 is 7, minus 1 is 6. So we have exactly enough to put BOLAS'S Citadel into play and protect it with Flusterstorm. It basically costs us everything except 1 land we'll have in play. And whatever the Edge of Autumn finds us. But I think I actually am okay with this. Let's play the basic land and cycle this Edge of Autumn. Defense Grid. Yeah, unfortunately this just exactly doesn't really do all that I wanted to do. But let's try this here. Exactly threshold here. Surgical Extraction gets us. Okay, BOLAS'S Citadel. Force of Will, pitch Tameo. Okay, I'm gonna fluster. I do kind of expect them to have something here. This gets around consigned memory because BOLAS'S Citadel is not colorless, right? But like if they have Veil of Summer here, I'm ready to concede. So hopefully this fetch land is just like for an emergency brainstorm. Oh, they had fluster. Okay, I will concede. They have Uro coming next turn, and I have 1 card, playing 1 card in my hand. Okay, okay. They had Force and Fluster. I don't know that I want to change anything here. I think I just resubmit. Yeah, I think this is fine. I haven't seen Wasteland out of them yet, but I do kind of expect that they could be playing at least a couple. But let's go ahead and Thoughtseize here. There is a Wasteland. I guess we take what do we take here? I think we take Consign to Memory. I don't want that trading 1 for 1 with my defense grid. Yep, play the Wasteland. Cabal Ritual, okay. And let's pass. Swords to Plowshares is not going to find any targets here. I'll fetch Undercity Sewers. Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'll take a Thoughtseize. And then I'm going to Brainstorm. Okay, let's get rid of the Lion's Eye Diamond and 1 Lotus Petal, I think. And then I'll pass. They get Hedge Maze. Wow, the 1 ring, huh? That's exciting. There's Tundra. I'm going to untap and fetch. I need an action card now, and then I'm pretty good to go, like Doomsday or BOLAS'S Citadel. I think we want to Thoughtseize here, and then play out our defense grid. 6 cards. Wow, double Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, I'm gonna take Force of Negation, and then I'm gonna leave them with having to keep open 4 mana to cast Flusterstorm. Not sure what they're thinking about here. There's a long pause here. Maybe they're lagging. Okay, there it is. Prismatic Ending right now would be a pretty devastating thing for them to draw. 3 mana. Oh, Teferi. Okay, I mean Teferi is a fine tempo play, but still doesn't really stop me. Like if they drew Force, then obviously that's pretty good. I think I play this Cavern and name Wizard. But like me drawing Petal, Cabal Writ, Cavern is less than ideal. If they have their 4th mana, do they go for the ring here and just take a chance that I don't like find a business spell? Looks like that's what they're doing. There comes the ring, and they're not drawing a card? That's odd. Oh, come on, deck? Really? Just can't draw anything but mana? Yeah, I think I probably lose now to all the cards they're going to draw. That was like, I had several draw steps to draw a business spell, but just couldn't. And I think I lose to that card. Well, I mean, not necessarily, but if I draw the thing, what's it called? BOLAS'S CITADEL is an artifact, so that could do something here, but instead I just draw more ritual. Okay, I'm going to concede. Draw for round number 3. I think I keep this hand. Has a little bit of everything. Alright, let's keep this. Opponent also kept 7. They are on the play. Urza's Saga white bordered. Has to mean storm, right? Okay. Yeah. Do I try and see what's up here? I think I do. I'm sorry. I know this is a turn 1 kill, but I want to know what my opponent is doing, and I feel like I can win next turn. Mox Opal, double the 1 ring. Okay, so I'm going to take this Thought Cast. They can't draw both a blue card and a Force of Will next turn. Okay, they play out, I would suppose, their City of Traders and a Mox Opal. Sad. Switched off Mox Opal. Hey, I even get to kill them with a Thoughtseize first. So that's nice. They drew another Urza's Saga. Okay. Wow, this was a stacked opening sequence here from this deck. So Thassa on the bottom with Edge on top, and then we need to draw the Petal off of this Street Wraith. Play the Petal, and the rest, as they say, is history. Put back Pact and consider. Alright, and they concede. Okay, so versus this 8-cast deck, I feel like we might want Defense Grid. I'm not sure though. I think Consign to Memory is also perhaps good enough. Nah, actually. I mean, the counters of the 1 ring. Yeah, maybe, right? Okay, let's board out like 1 Duress and the Preordain. And 1 Cabal Writ. And then maybe I just bring in 1 Consign to Memory. Yeah. So this hand is really soft to Chalice for 1, but otherwise it's okay. Opponent mulled to 6. They have a lot of mana, potentially, but no, they're just passing. Okay, sweet. Oh, hang on. I keep forgetting to board that out. It's not like it's textless versus them. Like, they're like an Emery deck, most likely. Let's Thoughtseize. Metallic Rebuke and the 1 ring. I'm going to take the 1 ring because they can cast that next turn. And then we'll have to just play around that Metallic Rebuke. And they led on the Saga, or rather the Tomb last turn, in order to be able to play turn 2 ring. Okay, so we draw Ponder. I think I want to Ponder first. And that draws us the land that we wanted. Let's actually cast this Thoughtseize right now. That way that is sort of over and done with. We take the Rebuke. Leave them with an Ancient Tomb. There's the Ancient Tomb. And now they can start making constructs that are going to be pretty big. So like finding a Doomsday is pretty clutch, and there is one. But I can't win this turn. Let's play this Cavern naming Wizard. Or actually, am I supposed to do that? Yeah, I'll do that. It's a stored draw. So this is going to be a 5/5 at least. And if they make another friend and they have something like lava, then that's pretty interesting. That might be enough to kill me here. Oh, grindstone. Yeah, of course, they're painter. What? Shit. I did not see that coming. So they drew the painter. Do I have anything in like any recourse here? I don't. Yeah, okay. GG's. All right. Yeah, I should have realized that 8 cast is a painter deck. I don't think it really matters that much. I think I'm going to board out the Nihil Spellbomb, though. Don't think I really want that. And probably want, what? Another Consigned Memory? Yeah, this is fine. I'm a little bit disappointed that I have yet to resolve a BOLAS'S Citadel in this league. I hope to do that. That's kind of why I wanted to play this list. Let's put Underground Sea into the graveyard. Also makes me think they aren't a Chalice of the Void deck if they're Painter Grindstone. That could be wrong. Where's the Saga? Sure. Grindstone, okay. Doomsday. Alright, let me just check here. I have... yeah, I have enough mana to go Doomsday and then... to go Defense Grid and then Doomsday. Yeah. And then win on the same turn. Right, so 2 becomes 4, becomes 6. Yeah. Just need to keep open a blue mana. Here comes the Defense Grid. That's in. Alright, sweet. So we have 6 axes here. Consider LED, Edge of Autumn, Street Wraith, Thassa. Yeah, just put Thassa and a Cycler as the 2 bottom cards, and then the rest, they don't matter. We brainstorm, we put back the blank in our hand, and then consider on top. And that is how we drew it up. Alright, sweet. Opponent concedes. Off to round number 4. Alright, we are on the draw for round number 4. Opponent mulligans to 6 here. I'm going to keep this hand. Really want this BOLAS'S Citadel to be played. We don't have any rituals here. It's a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, and again, like, I'm not too happy with this Pact of Negation forest. I was gonna say I have not. Oh, Utopia Sprawl. Oh, it is. It's Enchantress, so that's sweet. How about a ritual? Nope, no ritual. Okay, I'm gonna Thoughtseize here over Duress, because if they have Argothian Enchantress, that's what I want to be able to take here. Force of Will and Brainstorm. Interesting. What is this? Nylea's Presence. Draw a card. Okay. So I think we take the Brainstorm here. Oh, I didn't notice the... it's a Yorion deck. Wow, okay. So it's not, strictly speaking, Enchantress. You know what I would like to draw here? I would just absolutely adore a Brainstorm. They drew their second one. Boo. Yeah, Doomsday. Let's Duress here. Estrid's Invocation. What's this? Enter as a copy of an enchantment, except it has at the beginning of your upkeep. You may exile this. If you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Okay. Well, when you take the Force of Will, and then we plan to win next turn, or rather to resolve Doomsday, I guess. There is the old gal. Argothian Enchantress. Okay. So next turn they can draw some cards. Okay, so let's get Thassa in here and some Cyclers. The Pact of Negation can kind of stand in for a Cavern of Souls, I guess, which is kind of nice. So the draw step draws a card, the fetch land draws a card, each Cycler draw a card, so that's 4 cards drawn. We need a 5th. Unfortunately, we don't have a 5th Cycler. I could also try and win with, like, Bravura here. Let's see, I'll be at 8. 7 from the fetch. If I put in a Dark Ritual, yeah, I'm gonna do something different here. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. So what I wanted to do was like if I put in a no, it does work. It does work. Like Dark Ritual plus Petal and 3 lands is 4 mana exactly. 6 mana exactly. So okay, it's fine. Okay, so look at. All right, so what we're gonna do? We're gonna draw the Dark Ritual. We're gonna cast BOLAS'S Citadel, and then we're going to have our pile be Duress, Thassa, and then Island on the bottom. Yeah. This is going to cost us 3 life, which all in all is not too bad. Sorry, not 3 life. 5 life. Because we're also paying 2 life for the Thassa. Here come all the draws. I do lose like double force of will here, but let's just go ahead and assume that that's not something they have. Play out the Petal. Play out the Dark Ritual. Let's play out the Citadel. Alright, we cast Duress, paying 1 life. They Leyline Bind. Wow, that is sexy. I'm just going to Pact of Negation this Leyline Binding before they draw a card off Argothian Enchantress. Okay, Leyline Binding was pacted. Dress Down, yikes. What is Storm Chaser's talent? I forget. Oh, it's, yeah, okay. So this is like cards I need to read .deck. I'm going to take the Dress Down, and then I'm going to take something else. Yeah, this town ain't big enough, whatever. And then I'm going to cast Thassa. Alright, that was good enough. So this is like Yorion Enchantress with like relevant blue cards. Leyline Binding, hey. Defense Grid. I like Defense Grid. Like Consign to Memory can like snag a Leyline Binding trigger, for instance, but I'm not sure if that's sort of good enough for it to be relevant. Jace, Wheeler of Mysteries beats Dress Down, but loses to Leyline Binding. And I think like we have Tendrils as a way to try and win that way. So I think maybe just the 2 Defense Grid. They could be playing some hateful permanents that we might want to be bouncing, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Let's get rid of the Nihil Spellbomb and a Cabal Ritual, I guess. I think I keep this. It's not incredibly exciting, but you know, Brainstorm can change that. Raugrin Triome, yeah. Ritual, that's good. Alright. I think I just play land go here. And they are not playing any spells here. Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm and then probably Preordain. And then reassess. Tendrils. Guess I don't want Tendrils. I'll put away 1 Lotus Petal. I do kind of like the other cards in my hand. And I'm going to Preordain. Keep the Powder Dry on the Duress. Oh, those are some pretty good cards. I'm going to draw both of those. What we really don't want is for them to resolve some kind of hateful permanent, like a Deafening Silence or something right now. Let's hope I didn't speak it into existence. Okay, they're passing. So they probably have, I don't know, like Endurance or Flusterstorm or Consign to Memory. So what happens if I Duress here? They can't consign that. They can Veil of Summer it, which would be super annoying. Static Prison? What's that? When this enters non-exile, non-land permanent. Okay. And Endurance. Colossal Sky Turtle. Channel. Return this to your hand. Turn target creature. Target. Okay. So they can cycle this for 3 mana and get back the Static Prison. So what happens if I take Consign to Memory and then play Defense Grid? And then they can Static Prison the Defense Grid. Holy moly, this is tricky. I guess I don't really have to worry too much about the consigned memory currently. Only if I want to resolve the defense grid. I think I do take the consign and then stick the defense grid. They might spend a turn casting the static prison next turn then. They could cycle the turtle, get back consign memory, then static prison the consign. Static prison the defense grid, and then have up consign memory, which is pretty strong. There's the Misty. They choose not to do that though. Maybe they drew Force of Will, I don't know. Okay. Here comes Thoughtseize. And I'm gonna take the Endurance because I want to have Threshold, basically. Alright, Thoughtseize, it looks like, is resolving. They didn't Veil of Summer me. That is crazy. Why would you not do that? So what happens if I take the Veil? I think I have to take Veil of Summer here. Otherwise they have me just beat with this consigned memory. Alright, I'm gonna take Veil. And then I'm gonna cast Ponder here. I would love to find another Dark Ritual. Okay, what happens if I... Alright, I'm gonna shuffle these. Oh, I'm gonna risk it here. I really want to play this Citadel, but I do need Threshold for my my Cabal Ritual. So I'm gonna... Oh, and they let that happen. Sweet. Okay, here comes the Citadel. Yeah, that's not a colorless spell. I think they thought they could consign to memory this. Okay. Oh, shoot. Well, gonna fetch here and get, I guess, Undercity Sewers and put Polluted Delta into the graveyard. How about a good one? No, 3 lands? Okay, well, I'm gonna take, I'm gonna duress away the Static Prison here. Yeah, take the Static Prison. Pass. Man, that was really annoying. 3... Well, no, not 3. Yeah, 3 lands, actually. So what do they do here? I guess they take... Nah, they can't play anything. They need to hold up Endurance for dear life. Petal, okay. Duress, I can dig it. Ponder next, yeah, sweet. Get rid of that consigned memory. Cast Ponder. Doomsday. Yeah. Let's cast the Doomsday. Sucks that I have to pay mana for this. Okay, so right now we have Storm is 4. So we can't actually kill them outright with Tendrils. But if I Thoughtseize them first... So let's see. I'll be at 7. So Thoughtseize cost me 3. I'll be at 4. No, yeah, 3. I'll be at 4. And then they... Yeah, then it doesn't matter. I just win whichever way. Because like they have to play it or lose it. They have to play or lose their Endurance. And right now there's only 1 card in my graveyard. Let's see. So I guess I can make the last card just another 0, Lion's Head Diamond. So Thoughtseize, all 0s, and then Thassa. So we Thoughtseize them. Surprise, surprise. They cast Endurance. 1 card from my graveyard is put into my deck. And then we just proceed. We pay 2 life, and here she comes. Miss America. Yay! We got there. Sweet. Alright, positive record insured. Let's go for round number 5. On the draw for the final round. I think I keep this hand, but it is very clunky. Oh, it's the first Polluted Delta matchup. Basic Island, thankfully. Ponder. Even more thankfully. Uh-oh. This is Doomsday? Dark Ritual, huh? I think, as much as I would like to go Dark Ritual Doomsday, I think there were too many things that beat us here. I want to go Ponder. Let's grab, let's actually grab Cavern of Souls, and then we'll take the duress next time, so they can't take a duress from us. What is this? Could be Sneak and Show? Scalding Tarn. Brainstorm, Force of Will. Sink into Stupor. Okay, so this is Show and Tell. So I'm going to take the Force of Will. They might have hid another Force, but then they go Brainstorm off of Petal. It's at least a 2 for 2. And we'll take it from there. Okay. Okay, they're fetching, so they didn't hide a Force on top at least. Okay, sweet. So we can protect ourselves from a Show and Tell next turn, but let's see how we want to do that. So we want the Thassa. They have a bounce spell and Sink into Stupor. That's a little bit annoying, but not insurmountable. Okay, let's see here. If nothing happens, they just pass the turn back to us. We draw, say, Consider. We consider away the Brainstorm, draw the Edge of Autumn into Thassa through the cavern kind of thing. If they instead go Show and Tell next turn, we put in BOLAS'S Citadel, and then like we can draw Brainstorm, or rather cast Brainstorm, or maybe just start off by casting Consider, then Brainstorm, and then put Thassa into our hand. Oh no, never mind. That's not how that works. Thassa, we don't get to put two things in off of Show and Tell, unfortunately. Yeah, I guess we do just lose to that. Alright, I got a bit too clever for myself. Let's put Pact of Negation on the bottom, and then Thassa, we'll do it like that. We'll put Brainstorm underneath the Consider. Okay, so hopefully they only put in Atraxa here. I am going to put in the BOLAS'S Citadel. Okay, and I do get to do stuff before their Atraxa trigger resolves. So I am going to cast this Surveil, put this Brainstorm on top, and then I'm going to cast this Brainstorm. Oh, never mind, that costs mana now. Oh, I'm all over the place here. And let's see here, they didn't reveal, they revealed another Show and Tell, but no Omniscience, which is what I'm currently, which is most on my mind here. There's a Petal. Looks like they're passing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cast Brainstorm on my upkeep. We'll see how that goes. They didn't keep any Force of Will or Spell Pierce or anything. Alright, here comes the Brainstorm. And I was allowed to do that. Alright, so I'm going to put back, I guess, Undercity Sewers and Doomsday. And I will play the Cavern, naming Merfolk. I'm going to float a blue mana and exile, or Edge of Autumn cycling here to draw the final card of the deck. And that should do it. Sink into Stupor. What are they sinking? Oh, they're returning the spell. Alright, that's how that works. Okay. Yeah, I forget. I always forget that mode is there. Unfortunately, I have another answer in the Pact of Negation. Okay, Pact of Negation came through there. Alright, sweet. So in the sideboard, we do have several combo options here, so I think we should bring those in, like the Flusterstorms, the Forces of Negation, Hydroblast for sneak attack, and Pyroblast, and maybe Consign to Memory. And I think we board out the BOLAS'S Citadel. We have had the chance to shine with that. We board out the Spell Bomb. The Tendrils can come out. And then like some number of Cabal Ritual and like one Lotus Petal maybe. Yeah, let's try this. Hey, I did not come here to mulligan hands like this. Let's go. Unfortunately, our opponent representing a Flusterstorm over there. I'm going to cycle Street Wraith. Yeah, that was good. Let's Thoughtseize here. Okay, it was a Brainstorm. They're hiding something. Okay, and my Thoughtseize resolves. Let's take Force of Will. That leaves them with not a lot. Yeah, like a Flusterstorm is really bad for us if they have that. But now we have double force, so okay, just pray that they don't have Fluster. Force of Will, pitch Atraxa. I'll force back pitching Ponder. Okay, let's make a pile here. And now I think basically we just need to not lose to a consigned to memory over there. So I guess we can, yeah, we take a Thoughtseize as well. So what we do here is we draw a Cycler, and then we draw a Thoughtseize, then we Thoughtseize, and then we draw the other Cycler and win. Or maybe we Thoughtseize on the same turn, but I want to be able to cycle into Thassa. Yeah, I do want to be able to do that. Okay, they're surveilling most likely. Yeah, there we go. Here comes Ancient Tomb. Yeah, let's just pass. So what we potentially lose to here, I think only is the card Sneak Attack backed up by a counterspell. So I think I'm okay waiting one more turn. They would need to have like a pretty like exact number of very good cards for that to happen. Another land. Okay. Well, let's Thoughtseize them here. Like double consign here would be kind of a beating. No, I spoke it into existence. Fuck off. Okay, well, concede. Do we want an out to that? Do I need to bring in Jace, really? Yeah, let's bring in Jace. Alrighty. Yeah, I guess I will keep this hand. I think here I don't mind just turn one Thoughtseize. Alright. Disruptor Flute. Show and Tell. Sneak Attack. Stock Up. That's a lot of stuff. Oh, this is a strong hand. Not gonna lie. The Disruptor Flute really sort of sends it into overdrive here, but I'm gonna take the Brainstorm and here comes Lotus Petals. Now Flute is online. Alright, Brainstorm, you have to deliver here. Well, that only kind of delivered. Let's get rid of one ritual and... Oh, and they just passed back. Okay. I'm gonna pass back again. Like, I want to have a fresh look with Brainstorm. Ponder is good. Alright. They did not shuffle and found a basic land, so now they can potentially like cast stock up next turn. Alright, I'm gonna try and Brainstorm again. Well, let's put back a Lotus Petal and one of the lands, and we pass. I can pay for a Pact of Negation off of Dark Ritual next turn. Because they didn't want... Okay, they're passing again. Alright, I'm fetching Undercity Sewers here and hoping to find Doomsday, really. I don't. I find a land. Let's put it into the graveyard and take a fresh draw. We get a land. Alright, pass. Stock Up. Okay. Stock Up cost them a Lotus Petal. I'm not going to counter that. There's Ancient Tomb. That means Show and Tell into Sneak Attack, potentially. I would like to draw probably a discard spell here. Ooh. Atraxa. Discarded. Well, let's play the Petal here. Exercise our options here. We have 5, 7, 9 mana. That's not quite double force. We could Dark Ritual, cast Force of Will, force pitch Pact of Negation, and then also have Hydroblast. I guess. Like, if they name Force of Will here, that's pretty good. But I don't want to fight over the Flute. But using it in this way does kind of give me the feeling that they're using it defensive, or, yeah, disruptively on Force of Will rather than... Like, if they just know they have the win next turn, if I can't Force of Will. They do name Doomsday, though. Okay. I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to Dark Ritual here, and then cast Force of Will. And then I can Hydroblast a Pyroblast if I want to. But I could also... Like, I really want to save this Hydroblast for the sneak attack. I am just going to force pitching Pact of Negation here. They pitched Omniscience to their Force of Will. Okay. Show and Tell is countered. I hope that means the Hydroblast on their next thing is good. Oh, Thoughtseize is a good draw too. Discard is just so good in combo. You know, newsflash. Alright, I'm actually going to take the Force of Will here. That way, like, hopefully they don't top deck a Show and Tell. And rather just draw lands or whatever. Here comes the sneak attack. Counter target spell if it's red. So their hand right now is Atraxa and nothing else. Come on, deck. Yes, thank you. Oh, right, I have to pay more mana. Okay, so if they top deck a way to get... Like, if they top deck sneak attack, I lose. If they top deck show and tell, I probably lose because they get to show and tell in Atraxa and they just need to hit, like, something that can counter Thassa because I don't really have... Although, we also saw the Consign to Memories earlier. Okay, I think I am gonna try and hedge a little bit here. So let's say I draw Consider, I cast it, I bin nothing. I just draw Jace. Then I resolve Jace, I trigger him, targeting myself, or activate him. I put Thassa and Duress into the graveyard and draw Edge. In that case, I think this Consider should just be Street Wraith. Not sure they would be playing Daze, but you never know. Oh shoot! I got that all wrong, didn't I? Yeah, because Consider gets rid of 2 cards here. Oh god, Martin. Alright, let's see here. How does this work now? I'm committed to this. I draw Street Wraith into Jace, activate Jace. That still works, this is still fine. Okay, so we put Edge on the bottom, then Duress, then Thassa. Then Jason, Street Wraith. Okay. Yeah, they have a Surveil land here, so that's pretty nice for them. Please don't put something on top. City of Traders into the graveyard. Don't cast spells. Okay, they're passing. Alright, I'm going to cycle the Street Wraith and see how we do about resolving Jace. Like, if they have Pyroblast for him with the activation here, I lose. Because Thassa's going into the graveyard. Okay, that didn't happen. Alright, I'm just going to pass here, just in case they are, like, somehow messed up and have a Pyroblast in hand. And I'm passing because if nothing else happens, I'll win on my next draw step. And then I have the Edge of Autumn to respond to whatever they might do. Alright, we pass. And we got the match. GG's, opponent. Alright, a 4-1 record. I think this deck is pretty sweet. A couple of things, like, I don't know about the Pact of Negation. It did come up clutch once. I don't know about Profane Tutor. I get how it's really sweet with BOLAS'S Citadel, but I guess I never drew it, so who really knows? It's too early to tell. There are times when I felt like I just would have rather been just a normal Turbo Doomsday deck. But then you also get to do some really cool stuff with BOLAS'S Citadel. I definitely feel this is more of a showy deck than an actual sort of really like I don't want to say it's not like I don't think this deck is competitive, but you know, if you want to really push the advantage and bring the best 75 4 copies of Doomsday involved, I'm not sure I would lean towards this deck, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, and maybe if Luca, if you're watching, I'd love to hear your thoughts and what you think makes this deck cool. And yeah, that's probably it for now. So thanks so much for watching. Please go ahead, do the YouTube stuff. You know, like and subscribe and all that stuff. It really matters a lot and helps the channel. And I'll be back with some more Legacy.